Alright, welcome back. So we're looking at practice activities in Lesson 6, Styling Text with CSS for code.org. So in this one, it says the wrong font size, debug, wrong font size. So it says someone has submitted a bug report on this web page. Can you fix the bug? Well, so if we look through this, it says what I expected to happen was a paragraph font size to be 24 point font, and then what happened was the paragraph font is the default size instead of the 24 point font. So something's going on here. It says find and fix the problem that's causing the bug. Well, if we look through our index, there's nothing we can do with it here, right? It's just kind of showing up over here as the default size, and I believe this is a paragraph that we're looking at. So this is our paragraph right here. And there's really nothing we can do with that. These look very similar, so it must be something that's going on with our Cascade style sheet over here. So let's go to style.css, and we can see we have this as a different color. This not something you would normally see. Normally when you see like font, and this is the weight of it, so it's bold, it would be different. It would be green, and this one happens to be like a reddish pink. So if you look how the formatting is here, it says font, and then there's a hyphen, and then weight. So let's go ahead and try that, plug in a hyphen here, and see if that fixes it for us, which it does. So now it's back to the 24 point font that we want, and all we really needed to do was add the hyphen in there. And if that ever happens, you know, a lot of times if it's something going on with this, maybe it's spelled wrong, if you actually start typing, you'll get the options here. So then you can do font size like this. So just another tip there, if you end up with that, is it'll prompt you with different options. You don't have to know the text letter for letter if you happen to mess that up. Okay, hopefully that helps you. Good luck. Alright, so we're looking at debug missing paragraph style here. So it says what I expected to happen, the paragraph color is gray. What happened instead is the paragraph color is black. So the color over here is black of the paragraph style. Well, if we look at the style sheet, it does say that it's gray, so it should be gray. However, if you notice here on the style sheet, well, first let's go to index, just make sure that the style sheet is referenced, which it is, so it's there. If we go to style.cs, we can see that, see how you have the body and you have the braces, and we have H1 brace, but for paragraph we do not. So let's go ahead and add a brace here, and then let's copy this or cut this and paste it up here. And so what we were really missing is we didn't have the braces for the paragraph. Okay, so now we can see that our text is gray, and if we wanted to change it to black, we could do that, and it changes it to black, but we're going to leave it as gray because that's what we want to do. But that's how you fix that. You just got to watch the braces for this particular debugging problem. All right, so let's move on to the next practice activity. All right, so for this practice activity, debug missing heading style, we can see that it says heading color is green, and the heading color, what it should be, what we expect to happen is it green, but what actually happened is it's black. So we can see over here that it is black. So let's go ahead, I'm going to turn this inspector tool off because then it won't slide up and down on me. If we go to style.cs, we can see that the paragraph style is black, and the heading says color is lime green, and the font weight is bold, and we do have bold, but we don't have lime green. But if you notice, again, looking at these braces, kind of like what the previous activity, these are braces, but we have these that are a little bit different, which don't fit the formatting style of how we do the headings and the paragraphs and stuff. So let's go ahead and add these in instead. So we're going to take, you can see the difference between these. Take this one out as well, and then just going to give a little space there, and then that fixed our problem. So you really got to watch to make sure that you use the correct syntax when you are coding here with the HTML and the CSS. So we just had the wrong braces that were in there, and now you can see that our text is green. All right, so let's move on to the next practice activity. All right, so for this practice activity, it says debug RGB color style, and we have here that the title background is light purple and the subheadings are a shade of purple. And what actually happened in the title background is white and the subheadings are black. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and look at our style sheet over here. So we have a body of it, and that's background is white, which that we do want. We do have the font weight's bold, but what we're really looking at is the RGB, and it says background color is RGB 240, 200, 250. So these actually look correct to me. But notice here, so this is RBG, okay? Well, when we really need RGB, not RBG. So let's go ahead and change this. Oh, look at that, we got that fixed, but now this one's not working. We have the correct spelling RGB, but we don't have the brackets here or the parentheses around those. So we just need to fix this with the brackets here, or the parentheses. Just got to make sure that you have these in here, and then that should fix that. So the color, yeah, there we go. That should fix it, right? RGB. Oh, we have color. We need background color. No, we're good. Got the correct color. Yeah, we got these colored, and we should be all good. All right, let's move on to our next activity. So in this practice activity, we're debugging the missing style. So heading 1 color is blue, and actually what happened is the heading 1 color is black, and we need heading 2 color is green, and that one's black, and then the paragraph font is 12, and the paragraph font is a default size, so it's not the 12. So let's go ahead and take a look at our style sheet. So we can look at heading 1 here, and it says heading 1 color should be blue, but it's black. So let's go ahead and we got font weight bold, color is blue. That seems to be like that should work. Let's go ahead and take a look at heading 2. Says it should be green, and it ends up being black. So let's take a look at our index first and see. Doesn't look like we're actually referencing our style sheet. That should be one of the first things you take a look at, is to make sure that your style sheet is actually here, right? So we can see that there is no reference to our style sheet. So let's go ahead and add that in. So again, the style sheet's good for us. We're just going to go ahead and add in our reference to that. Okay, so it is, and this can be a tough thing to kind of remember exactly how we type this in, but we do need what we need is a style sheet, and then we have our reference, and that's going to be our style.css. Then we just got to close that off here at the end. Got to be careful with that. Make sure you include these at the beginning and at the end. It's very similar to like what we do with body and the header and stuff like that. So then notice this changes our colors right away. We just didn't have our style sheet referenced in there. So that's how we fix that. All right, let's move on to our next practice activity. Okay, so for this activity it says add a heading rule. So let's go ahead and go over to our style sheet, and we can see that we do not have a heading rule on here. So we're going to want to make one. Okay, so we're going to do one for, let's go back to our index. We can see that we have heading 1, we have heading 3. You can use either one of these, but I'm going to go ahead and use heading 1. And so we're just going to say that this is heading 1. We have our braces, and then I'm going to say we're going to change the font weight, and we'll say that that's going to be bold, and then color, let's make that blue. Oops, make sure with your text here too that you have that semicolon at the end. See how that changed that to blue? And let's add one more. I'm just going to go font size. Really, you can do whatever you would like with this. It just says to add a rule, and we'll make it 36. Oh, let's make it 45. We'll make it And that's it. So now we have our heading rule set all there. Just gotta make sure you have your braces. You can either use H1 or H3. And there you go. That's that practice activity. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next. All right, so for this activity, it says add a paragraph rule. Again, it's very similar to the previous one. Here's an opportunity to be creative and customize the paragraph. We can have paragraph tags here, so we're going to go down to our style. We're just going to create a paragraph rule set. We can do whatever we want. Again, I'm going to do, not going to do a font weight this time. I am going to do color. And let's do red. Oops, make sure we spell color correctly. Let's do red. And let's do font size. We'll do that as a 12. Now this hasn't changed over here, so let's go take a look. What did we do wrong? We have our paragraph. There we go. Okay, it just took a second. Actually, that looks kind of small. Might want to change that to 14. There we go. Just took a minute to refresh. So, and you could add more things. You know, you could do, font weight, things like that, or even change the font if you wanted to do that. I'm just going to leave it at these two. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so for this practice activity, it says to add a style sheet. So this is really kind of cool. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to add a style sheet and then add some rule sets. So first thing we need to do is we're going to add a CSS right here. And we can actually rename this. And we're going to call it style. Okay. And then we already have a few rule sets already. So we have the body of the whole page's background is white. We have a paragraph that the color of the text is black, and we have a heading one that the font weight is bold. And if we wanted to, we could add a few things there. I guess I'll go ahead and I'm going to change the font or the color of the text. And we'll do red. And then, so that's for heading 1. I'm not sure why that's not kicking in. Oh, because we got to reference it too. Well, let's go first and make our rule sets here. So we'll do heading 2, and we'll go ahead and do color. We'll do color green, and we'll just kind of make this real quick. We'll also do a heading 3. I believe we have a heading 3 on here. We have a heading 3. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll do heading 3. And we'll do color blue. Okay, so we got red, green, blue. Kind of simple. And if we go to our index here, we got to then go ahead and add in our reference right here. So if we, let's go ahead and tab down here. And we're going to go link. And then this is a style sheet, and we're doing a reference to our current style sheet that we have, just that. And then we just got to close that. Oops. There. Just got to make sure we have that link there. Okay, so then this will, what happens basically here is we're linking this index, we're linking this index and we're referencing it to this style.cs, and then those rules that we made in here are being applied to the index. All right, so you can see the changes that we made there, and if you wanted to change anything up here, maybe I want to make this a little bit bigger, I could do that. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it for right now. But there you go. That's how you reference a style sheet and how you make your own style sheet right there. Right. Hopefully that helps you, and good luck with your coding.